So once we have installed the software, it will show these all pre-installed bid files over here, and all the files which you have made, all the bids. So how to create a new bid, I will tell you. So once you click on the bids, here is one dollar sign which will show a new once you drag your cursor over there. So click on that dollar sign. Here you can write the project name. So for example, I am taking the capsule works which I have worked on, phase 5. Okay, the project name. Here if you have the job number of this, you can input over there. Then in estimator, what you can do is you can create your own new estimator. Employee details you can fill up over here, all the things. So what will happen is once you create this kind of employee details, one your employee id, and click and select over there. So what will happen is once tomorrow if you have to share your bid file as well, so you once you share the bid file, this estimated detail will also go along with it, and whoever has that file will know that okay, this estimator or interior designer have created this bid file, so whom to contact he will know. Okay, then here we will add the images or the pdfs which we have created for the layout. So basically you will have to go to the folder where the pdf is located. So yeah, so here is the file which I have worked on, which is a pdf file of the layout. I will open it. So yeah, so the image here is open. Okay, so click on ok. Once you click on ok, here the bit file will appear, and it will redirectly open it. Then it will ask you these conditions which you have to create. So I'll tell you about those later. Firstly, what we'll have to do is once we open the file, so here we should know any one dimension so that we can scale the pdf. So you can go to edit. Here you will see the calculate scale option, and scale style will be architecture. Enter the length to the non-linear. So here ost, what happens is the last two digits which you enter, the ost software takes it as inches. So suppose I am taking 600. Okay, so 600 means for OST it takes is at 6 feet 0 inches. If I have entered it like 611, so what will happen is the OST software will take it as 6 feet 11 inches. If it is 601, it will take it as 6 feet 1 inch. Okay, so the known length which I know is 2 feet. So what I'm taking is double zero and 2. So 200 means 2 feet. So here what we will do is we'll keep it here. So the width of the workstation is 2 feet. So I will do is I will drag from the center point till the end of the workstation. So this length is 2 feet, and apply to all pages. If there are multiple pages, you can go and check and rescale them again as per the correct dimensions which you know. So any one dimension once you have scaled it, you can click on ok. And for cross checking, so here one dimension icon is there, so you can drag over there on the screen and check if it is scaled correctly. So now we have scaled our drawing. You can see all the dimensions are correct now. Okay. So once you scale your drawing, so the next thing is to create the conditions. So here you can see there is one plus sign which is appearing. So new condition, once you drag your cursor on the plus sign, it will show new condition. So click and create a linear condition, area condition, count condition. So these three options will appear. So firstly I will show you about the linear condition. So once you click on the linear condition, suppose we are going to count gypsum partition, which is of suppose 10 feet height. Just for our indication we can write the height of. So basically we will have to take different kind of heights of gypsum partition, which will be above glass partition and full height partitions. So this way we'll know which height layer we are selecting while taking the takeoff. So in height here also you can just mention. So here what I am doing is I am writing 1000, so that last two digit the software will take as inches, so it will become 10 feet. So the thickness of gypsum partition will be 3 inches. Is there any slope? No, there won't be any slope. So basically, because of slope, what will happen is once we add the ratios of the slope, so it will take the quantity in slope. So it will directly take the dimension. Suppose we are calculating a skirting on staircase. So what will happen is it will take the slope of the staircase, how much, what ratio it is rising, and it will directly calculate the correct length for it, the hypotenuse one. Okay. So here we don't need any slope. Then color, what color would you like to appear for gypsum? You can select over here. You have many options. You can create some color from these as well. Once you choose it, pattern should be transparent so that you can see below what is there. Then the quantities. So here there are multiple quantities which you can collect from this same linear condition. So firstly we want the length of the gypsum partition wherever the 10 feet one is coming. So the unit will be in linear feet, linear yard and inches. So I am selecting the linear feet one. So the quantity 2, here what we can do is we can, if we need any other quantity like volume or single side volume or surface of both side, top or bottom, so multiple quantities we can take from the same condition once we input all the dimensions of the linear condition which we need. So once you go to advance, here again tolerance should be not more than 1 inches. And if we are like working on a curved plan, so if most of the linear condition which we are going to take, if they are curved segments, so you can tick mark over here so that defaultly the segments will come as a curve. Okay. So the labor codes, I don't know if we will be needing these. So yeah, so in linear conditions these all are the things which you have to work on. Then here type. So in type what you have to do is you will have to create types of all the conditions. Like we have the sections in bid like civil, paint, ceiling, right, flooring. So these kind of all the types we will have to create in this type condition. So here what we'll have to do is, so gypsum is a partition. So I have created already one type here, but what I will do is I will create a new for you. So click on the new. Here it will show a blank one. You can write partition, gypsum partition, and enter. So once the gypsum partition, a new condition type has been created, select that type of condition which you need, then layer. So here what you will have to do is again create new layers. So here I will create a new layer for gypsum partition. So so once you create the layers, so basically for the first time when you are working on these bid layers and type conditions, you'll have to create all the new layers. So once you work on some other project, it will directly come up. Okay. So once you create the new layer, select it again. So here it will appear the gypsum partition condition type is created, the layer have been selected which layer we want, and then click on OK. So till now we have scaled the bid file and created a linear condition for gypsum partition. So now once I click on this, with the help of control key, once we hold the control key, we can scroll in the drawing wherever we want. Okay. So I can see over here there is a gypsum partition which I have given. So I'll just count this gypsum partition. So for counting gypsum partition, what actually first you should be doing is you should be clicking on this continuous mode. So what will happen is, if the gypsum partition is continuing, so we don't have to click and drag every single time. So I will recommend to turn it on. Then click over here on the start point, and then this red band will start appearing. So just drag it over there and click again. So again see, because of the polyline mode, it is continuing again from the end point which I have created. So if you don't want to just, you can just turn off the poly mode, or just spacebar or enter you can click, so it will just end over there. So again if you want to start some other one, you can just click and again click on the endpoint. Same thing here, click, end here, click, end here. So here you can see it is not aligned is what I can see. So you can click on the condition which you have created and drag it downside. So in linear condition what happens is, if you have created a line before, and if you have created a line vertically before, so in linear condition you can only move the horizontal line vertically and vertical lines horizontally. Okay. And if you have created two lines, and if you want to extend lines, you can directly extend it from here. So you will get 2 points from which you can extend from both the sides. And if you want to match the same length of the end line which you have created, you can just drag over here, and once it is very close, it will stick to that vertical line, the horizontal one, or the horizontal on the vertical one, whichever you need at the time, and you can just drag and keep over there. So they are not getting attached basically, but it is taking the reference point of the vertical line and just stretching till the end point of the vertical line. Okay, so you can see here the quantity. When I'm taking the quantities, it is directly appearing over here. So 64 linear feet is what till now I have counted. So here some more, once I click here again, I end it up here. So here it became 74. Then again once I click over here and click again over here and spacebar to end so again it became 83. So this way all the linear conditions like glass partition, then above glass partition, those all can be taken. Okay, of the different, if suppose the gypsum partition over here was 10 feet, but the gypsum partition above the glass partition will be of a different height. So what you can do is go here, create a linear condition. Again here we can write above glass partition. It will be of 2 feet height. For our reference we are writing this height. Here we can again mention 200 so that it becomes 2 feet 0 inches. Thickness will be of 3 inches. Type will be a gypsum partition. So here it have directly appeared because we have created already a type condition over there. So in layer we can again click on the gypsum. So it has taken the gypsum layer, and in once we go in advanced, minimize the tolerance, the color, let's take yellow for the color. Quantity default is in length, which is in unit is in linear feet, which is okay. So yeah, everything is filled up. We don't need slope over here also. So okay, so here in gypsum partition, these two layers we have created. Above glass partition, which is of 2 feet height. So once we click on it, zoom it, drag it over, click and drag it over the door and the glass partition. So here 8 feet, 8 linear feet have been calculated directly. So this way all the linear conditions of different heights can be taken over here. So if we are calculating skirting or paint, we actually won't be needing any thickness over there. So it will be just like a add-on for the walls. So what we can do is, while creating it for the paint, skirting, roller shades, wallpaper, designer wall paneling, so what we can do here is we can keep the thickness of 1 inch over there for them. And the same process again, if it is a paint, 10 feet paint, different heights of paint need to be in a different layer. Then 10 feet height over here, length linear feet is correct only, tolerance which should be 1 inches, and in type, so new paint, enter. So it is showing already paint is existing. So I'll just click on the paint, select it, layer, again paint. So here layer is not there. So what we'll do is we'll create a new one, paint, paint, enter, select it. So color is green is okay, and okay. So here in paint folder, one paint of 10 feet height is created. Once we click on it, the condition, and we can drag over here. So as it is clicked on the poly continuous mode, it will defaultly directly drag over there. Once we have to end it, click it, and you can hit the space bar or the enter key to end it. So if you click the space bar, the last condition which we have used, it will show it up over here. If you want a cursor over there, if you click on the space bar again, it will directly, the cursor will appear. Okay, so here again I will show you, it is 18 linear feet. From here we are taking it, the paint, till here, again over here, again over here, and end it over here. So it is 45 linear feet now, all the paint count what we have taken. So while adding it in the BOQ, what we'll do is we'll take all the quantity of the paint, multiply it by the height of the paint for which we have considered, and multiply it by 1.1, which is 10% wastage which we will be considering in BOQ. So this way all the linear conditions, I hope, is clear for everyone. After the linear condition, we have the area condition. So in area conditions, what you can use it for is for the measurements of the flooring, for the carpets, for any area conditions which you will be needing basically. So here what we will use is we'll count the carpet area of the whole floor plate. So here I will write carpet area. The thickness actually won't matter over here, so 4 inches or 1 inch, anything is fine. Slope we won't be needing it. Quantity is in area, square feet. We have different options as well. Then in advance, is it a tile? We can feed in the tile dimensions as well. What should be the gap between the tiles? Those grid. Do we want grid in the area pattern? That all can be done over here. Okay. So I don't need a type or a layer for this actually. I'll just create a layer for this one. So, carpet area. So enter, created a new one, select it, carpet area over here, type new carpet area, enter, select, and hit OK. Okay. So here folder for carpet area have been created, and in that carpet area condition can be seen. So here two things can be done in the area condition. So basically, if you know the area is in rectangular shape, you can directly click, hold the click, and drag the rectangle condition directly over there. Okay, so I'll show you again. Click and hold the condition, drag it. So basically I want to take it till here. Okay, so it has directly taken all the carpet area over there. Again, here I want it is a rectangle. Here again I have clicked over here and taken it again. Let's suppose we have a weird shape which is in polygon. At that time what we can do is we can click or click the edge points one by one. So here I have clicked one. So second one is here, third one is here. We don't have electrical room in our scope. Here, here, Again here we don't have balcony in our scope. Here we don't have AHU in our scope. So basically I'm clicking all the edges of the layout here. So here what will happen is it will show you the correct perpendicular line. Here you can double click to end the area condition. So here what we have done is we have calculated all the area in the polylinal segment. Okay, so this way area condition can be used to take all the area conditions. Then by default it won't show you, it will just show you the conditions tab over here. If you want to see the layers tab also, so here layers window will be shown. You can click on the layers window and it will show you all the layers which we have created and the default layers. So if you want to turn off any layer which you have created like carpet area, because of which I can't see any other condition because of the overlap, you can directly turn it off the layer of the carpet area and it will just turn off, and you can clearly see the other areas which you need to see. So paint also, if you want to turn off, or gypsum partition, you can just it off. If you are showcasing someone that okay, here all areas I have taken the paint, you can right click on the paint and you can select object and it will just highlight all the paint conditions wherever you have used, and you can directly show the design it. So here all I have considered the paint. If you need to change the paint, so okay, tomorrow here we are not using paint, you can directly click on the layer which you have dragged the linear condition and delete it, and you can directly create the wallpaper condition and add it over there if you need wallpaper or design paneling, designer paneling, anything. Okay, if we have a curved partition in any layout, so what you will have to do is simply take the linear condition which you need. It can be a gypsum partition, glass partition, or any paint or designer paneling, whatever. So directly click from end to end, then right click on it, create, set as curved segment. So here a center point will appear. Once you click and drag it over there, it will turn into a curve. Okay, so this way it will take the, so here you can see it is 34 linear feet. Once I click and drag down again, it will change to 33. So the circumference of the circle it will take as a linear condition over here. Okay, so this way all the curved part of linear condition you can use it. Okay, so the next one here is the count condition. So count condition can be used for counting the furniture. If the same type of furniture is coming all over there, and if you want to know that okay, how many workstations are there, or how many chairs are there, how many meeting rooms are there, we can just directly count how many lounge chairs are there. So basically what I will do is I will type 9 1100 by 600 workstation. Here width can be kept as 6 inches, as on default it was on 1 feet, it would have been a very big square which it might have appeared. Then quantity is in numbers, so hit OK. We can create types and layers for as well. For this, hit OK, it will appear up here, and then click on the condition and we can start counting them. So for counting, what you will have to simply do is click on the workstations. So if you need to, if the same type of configuration is appearing everywhere, so you can just copy paste it, control C, control V, and it will directly appear over there. So if you don't need them, if they are not correct, you can simply drag and click or delete them directly. So this way you can simply count any type of condition you can create and take the takeoffs. So if you have multiple sheets of the same condition, suppose we have one more floor of the capsule works phase 5, different floor also is in our scope, so it is on a different page. So what will happen is, here the quantity which it is showing is for this page basically. So if we want a combined quantity takeoff of all the conditions, all the takeoffs which you have taken, you'll have to go to the takeoff page. So once you go to the takeoff page, so all the sheets, how the number of floors it might be, and if you have taken the same paint, 10 feet paint in other sheets, it will just add up all the quantities and show you the total number of paint quantity in linear feet whatever it might have taked off. Okay, so here in takeoff tab you will have the total number of quantity of all the floors, all the pages which you have taken for the same layer. Okay, and if tomorrow you need to export your bid file and you have to send it to someone else, correct? So how will you export it is, you'll have to go to files, you'll have to go to export and to bid package. So once you click on the bid package, it will ask you all pages, send image yes, create, and you can just save it over the folder whichever you need it. You can rename the file and save it. So once you have saved it in the folder, it will appear something this way, OSP file, and you can share this file. This file will contain all the layers, all the takeoffs which you have taken, and the PDF with the PDF file which was attached in this file. So one more big thing which you need to understand is that the file location for the default OST when we are taking off. So this is a linked file. The PDF file is linked with this conditions all one. And if tomorrow we change the location of the file which we have taken a link as, if suppose I have moved this file into some other folder or I have renamed it, what will happen is if I go back to the bits and just reopen it, so it will show is missing file. So the software won't take up that same location file, as there is no same named file at the same location which we have linked before. So make sure whenever we are choosing a file for the takeoff, we should have it in the same name in the same location, so that the OST software will take up the linked file every time. Okay. And if let's suppose tomorrow the layout is changing a bit after the revisions, if let's suppose only the middle part of this is changing, so what we can do is we can uh, make the name of that same PDF, edit it, and keep the same name as before one. Let's suppose I have kept the name as R105824 Capsule Works Phase 5 Furniture Layout. The same name should be written on this PDF, and it should be kept in the same location, so that the OST software will link up that file directly on this one. So let's suppose there are very minor changes which we need to make. So what we can do is we can overlay the new layout on the old ones. Let's suppose I have I have created this layout option previously, and I have to edit it over there. So once I overlay it, it will ask the alignment of the overlay if that is correct. So I feel it is correct. Do you need to descrew the overlays image? Has the has it been rotated or something? It is asking. So I feel it is correct only. So yes. Do you need to resize the if the scale of the image is correct or not? If he is asking. So I feel the scale is also correct. Yes. So here I can see it is not matching the same lines of the previous one which I had. So what I will do is align the overlay. So basically here 2 points have been came up. So here it is a rotating one, and here it is a moving one. So what we'll do is we'll move it and align it over there. If it is correct, so here once we align it, yeah, so it is aligned over here. So we can see the meeting room's position have been changed. Previously it was different, now it is different. So directly what we can do is we can turn off the overlay as well. So here once I click, it will show the base image. Once you click again over here, it will show the overlay image. So once we overlay, we can see all the disturbances, all the corrections which we need to make in the takeoffs. We can delete them, move them as per our need. Okay, so this was the overlay. Thank you guys. I hope this session will be helpful. You can reach me out if you have any doubts about any other segment in this. Okay, thank you.